So you thought The Room was the worst movie ever made? Well, it may be, but we got a contender. Ryan's Babe is brought to us by director Ray Ramaya and stars Bill Levasseur, Alex Hayden, and Catherine Rizzoni. A young man embarks on a road trip, hoping to solve his life's problems along the way. So this is actually a request from one of my top tier bad motherfucker patrons, Greg C. All of my top tier patrons get to request one movie each month that I have to review, and this is Greg's for December, actually. I was a little bit behind, had a move going on, talked to Greg, he was cool with it, but here it is now. But what that also means is Greg's gonna get two of them this month because I gotta do the one for this month too, but that's a whole nother story. Now, Greg warned me up front that this movie is notoriously bad, and man, he wasn't playing. I've watched this movie twice now for some reason, and I still have no fucking idea what's going on in it. This is one of the most incomprehensible messes of a movie I've ever seen in my life, so let's talk about it. And real quick, yes, I know I've reverted to the old format, and this isn't permanent, it just works better for these balls deep reviews. I'll probably come up with some other format for these reviews at some point in the future, but right now this is what I got, so this is what we're getting. So without any further ado, let's get balls deep in Ryan. We open with a man and a woman walking in the woods, accompanied by some ominous stock generic-ass ominous music. It's very intense. I mean, I'm feeling it. How about you guys? 30 seconds into this movie, and I can already tell what I'm in for, and man, this lady just read my fucking mind.
I feel shitty, and I'm tired.
So the man, Parker, who is apparently the woman Krista's bodyguard or something, decides to double-cross her, but we don't really know why or what he's double-crossing. We don't get a lot of information there. But he pulls a pellet gun on her, and that shit is threatening as hell. When she doesn't comply with what he says, he bitch slaps her ass to the ground and says, "You know what, bitch? Your number's up."
You stinking mean bastard.
What'd she say?
You stinking mean bastard.
Did she say a stinking Ming bastard like Ming the Conqueror from Flash Gordon? Oh shit, we might have some bad movie crossover going on here. Fortunately, Krista is able to overpower Parker, takes the gun from him, and shoots him, and we get this little gem of a reaction from him.
You bitch! You shot me!
Yeah, buddy, just keep on waiting for that call from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts. Keep the dream alive, man. After mortally wounding Parker, Krista narrowly escapes the woods. Man, I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of scared there for a minute. But she does thankfully get away, and she reaches a road where a car comes and she stops it, titties and all. I mean, it's a lonely guy going down a lonely road. You're just driving along and you say, "Oh shit, titty." Who wouldn't stop? But he's gonna wish that he hadn't, because she whips out the gun and carjacks this 1990 Cavalier. I mean, really? Come on. You couldn't have like maybe waited for the next car? Me, myself, personally, if I was trying to run for my life and I ran out and a 1990 Cavalier rolled up, I might be like, okay, I'm gonna back into the woods for a minute and just wait for the next one. Because believe me, whatever it is that shows up next, it's gonna be better than that. Fuck, it's a 1986 Sunbird that's next. This is where we meet the titular Ryan of Ryan's Babe. Still don't know who the babe is, but I'm sure we're gonna find out. Krista jumps in the car and gives Ryan very explicit, detailed direction. As they aimlessly drive down the road, we get this.
I'm really, really sorry, Mama. Oh, God.
And man, with a performance like that, how the hell have we not heard about this woman yet? Meryl Streep, eat your fucking heart out. Ryan, apparently not being a lover of the arts, decides, fuck this shit, I'm done.
Just take the fucking car and get the hell out of my face.
But Krista ain't having that shit either, so she pulls the fucking gun out and says, "Ryan, you better fucking drive, or I'm gonna blow your fucking head off." And he's like, all right, calm the fuck down. And they continue on down the road. Apparently Krista has multiple fucking personalities or something, because she just starts talking to herself nonsensically in the car, talking to her mother, I guess, who's not really there. I'm not really sure what the fuck is going on here, and the movie never really explains it. Not never really, it just fucking doesn't explain it. But hey, I guess that's the glory of Ryan's Babe. It's at this point that we get epic transitional shots of them driving down the road, and we also get the remainder of the credits, of which everyone that was involved in the movie is probably pretty fucking embarrassed about. But we also find out an interesting little tidbit of information, and that would be that director Ray Ramaya is a PhD, apparently. And you may be asking yourself, why would one include that in your writer-director credits on a movie? Well, let me tell you, I went to school for a period of time to get a doctorate. Didn't complete it, admittedly, but had I gone all those years that I was slated to go, you best believe that every fucking time my name showed up, that PhD would be on the end of it, because I earned that motherfucking shit. So you know what, Ray? I may not have liked your movie very much, and I think you're probably in the wrong business, but I get it, man. I know why that PhD's there. Right on. If nothing else, we could take solace in the fact that when this venture didn't quite pan out for old Ray there, he had something else to fall back on. After driving all night and taking a side road piss break, our heroes finally arrive at a lone phone booth out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And up to this point, all the ridiculous, crazy shit that has happened in this movie is not the most unbelievable part. The most unbelievable part of this movie up to this point is that a 1990 Cavalier in the year 2000 made it that fucking far with zero problems. You'll also notice by this point that every single fucking line of dialogue in this movie has been redubbed in ADR. And not only has it been redubbed, but it's been redubbed in a really shitty room with a bad echo. So if that kind of thing gets under your skin, well, you might as well go ahead and turn this fucker off, because every single line of dialogue in this entire movie is that way. Honestly though, it kind of adds to the charm of the whole thing. Yeah, we're gonna go with charm. I'm gonna use that word because there's a lot meaner words I could use, but we're just gonna say charm. So after Krista calls her friend Rita and says that that is their destination, Ryan asks who's Rita, and Krista goes on to give that bitch's life fucking story. The next morning in a diner, we find out from the TV and this crack reporter that apparently Krista's mother was brutally murdered by her stepfather so that he could get the family's inheritance. And his plan was to frame Krista for the murder by having her taken out to the woods and shot by her security guard. I don't know really how that works, but hey, you do you. Upon hearing this news, Krista breaks down and runs out of the diner into an apparent Chevy Cavalier graveyard, because you can't tell me that any of them motherfuckers actually run. As she's having the crisis of a lifetime, Ryan's just like, fuck this, I'm out. The editing here is fucking amazing. This chick runs out and she's just having this breakdown, and the very next cut is just bam, Ryan. I don't think it was supposed to be funny, but I laughed my fucking ass off at that for quite a while. He's like, fuck this chick's crazy, this is my opportunity, I'm fucking out. When Ryan finds that nobody's gonna pick his ass up, he just says, fuck it, okay, I guess I'll go find out what's wrong with this chick, and consoles Krista. And this is when we get the first of many flashbacks in this movie. And Ryan tells us the epic story of he and Connie. Connie was apparently the girl next door that he knew all of his life and had a thing for Ryan, but he just wasn't having that shit. And man, Ryan is just a stone cold fucking pimp.
Hey. Hey, Ryan. How's it going? I didn't,
Awkward. It's okay though, because Connie takes that shit like a champ and decides she's gonna go get her some rebound dick.
Hey, you wanna go for a beer?
Okay.
You're buying. Wait.
Damn. Then we get to see that Connie may be just a little bit psycho. Like really, this bitch ain't playing and she don't take the hint. Ryan and his girlfriend Brenda are just sitting there chilling and talking, and she runs up and tries to get in the middle of it, and then, you know, they're like, no, we're gonna go do our thing, bye. And Connie got them crazy eyes. She is not playing here. Brenda, watch your fucking back. And what the fuck are these sculptures just in the middle of this park? I mean, Jesus, look at those. They're fucking terrifying. While Ryan and girlfriend Brenda are having a nice casual walk in the park, crazy Connie shows up, and like I said, Brenda, watch your fucking back. But Connie finds out that karma is a motherfucker that comes in the form of a Volkswagen Rabbit that runs her ass the fuck over. And when Ryan runs up to see if Connie's okay, this sparks another flashback. But we're already in a flashback, so this is a flashback within a flashback. It's a fucking flashback inception. A bitch in Camaro drops off a busted ass bike at a gas station, or at least that's what I thought happened for about 5 minutes, and then I figured out, oh no, it didn't drop it off, they ran over it. And apparently this was young Ryan's bike. And when young Connie sees that her young friend Ryan's bike has been all busted up, she decides to rob the shit out of her parents so that she can get his bike fixed for him. But before she can make it out the door, Connie's mom and dad call her into the living room because they want to talk to her for a minute.
You get to ride my horse today.
What? I mean, I'm not the only one here, right? This is coming across really fucking weird. And we also find out that Connie's parents don't really care for Ryan very much through this extremely intricate dialogue.
I don't like that boy. I don't want you hanging around him.
So once she is able to escape the pedophile playhouse that is her home, Connie takes the new bike to Ryan. And I just gotta say that the child actors that they got here do just a chef's kiss phenomenal job here.
Hey Ryan, look what I've got.
Wow.
It's exactly like my wrecked bike.
How have we not heard of these kids already? There are so many wonderful performances in this movie, I just can't fathom why we haven't heard of these actors before. Now, being the ever-appreciative little shit that Ryan is, he pieces the fuck out and says, I'm out this bitch. And this is when we learn that apparently Ryan has a history of ditching Connie's ass. Right around this time, Connie's mom pops out from around a random-ass house like fucking Sneak King and asks the little girl if she wants some chocolate. And judging by the look on young Connie's face, we can tell what she's thinking is, I don't want no fucking chocolate shake, I want that Ryan ass. So now we flash forward back to our original flashback, and apparently some undisclosed amount of time has passed, and Ryan tells Connie to get the fuck out of here and get a life. So she runs out into the hallway and has a very emotional conversation with whoever the fuck this guy is. I don't know if Ryan just like busted his load in her hair and she combed it up or something, like there's something about Mary, but damn it, man, that's all I could see the whole time. Then suddenly we're in a pool hall slash bar. I don't know how we got here, but that's where we are. But before you have time to even think about that, you're going to take notice of the amazing audio in this scene.
I'll have another one, Jim.
No more today, Bill. Please escort this gentleman to the door.
What the fuck is going on here? Look, I know that ADR is a thing and it happens in most movies, but this entire movie is just ADR from beginning to end. And this guy, I mean, what the hell? He's got two different voices coming out of his mouth in the same shot. Not to mention that we have no fucking idea what's going on in this scene, when this scene takes place, who these people are besides the one guy who got thrown out, which I think is Connie's dad. This movie is just like a collection of nonsensical scenes that are like sloppily edited together. It is so fucking confusing. You don't know what the fuck is going on half the time. More than half the time. You don't really know what's going on the majority of the time. But hey, before you even have a chance to process any of that, Connie's attempted suicide. Apparently she took a whole bunch of sleeping pills that made her bleed. God damn, that's some strong-ass Tylenol PM. And the bathroom, which I assume is where she did it, looks like a fucking murder scene. Upon hearing the news of his little girl trying to commit suicide, Bill, Connie's dad, just assumes that it has something to do with Ryan. I guess because, you know, the guy's kind of fucking tormented her whole entire life. So drunk as shit, he grabs his shotgun and heads out looking for Ryan. And he arrives at like this seaside like area with like a bunch of kids hanging out reading Homer's The Odyssey, which, by the way, I think that's what the director was going for with this movie. I think he's trying to do his version of Homer's The Odyssey, but yeah, it didn't really work out that way. Upon seeing the extremely menacing Bill arriving at the gathering, Ryan makes a run for it. And Bill makes sure that everybody there knows what Ryan's got coming.
I'm gonna find him. Wherever he goes, I'm gonna find him. He's dead meat. Did you hear me? He's dead meat.
Oh man, you better watch out, Ryan. Back at home, Bill is drinking himself into a stupor with the same bottle of liquor, I might add, when Ryan's mom shows up to have a heart-to-heart discussion with Bill about their kids, and we get this Oscar-winning dialogue.
You're very upset. You're not thinking straight. Just let me talk to my son.
It doesn't matter, Beth.
It doesn't matter how you feel!
Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Connie is having a dream within a flashback, and I honestly don't even know what the fuck to call that. Flashback dreamception! Later that night, through test run at the hospital, we find that apparently Connie's suicide was all for attention. But before anybody can get this information to Ryan, he's taken off on the run from... I don't know. He didn't really do anything wrong, so I don't know why he's taking off on the run, but he's going on a road trip to America, I guess. Early in his journey of self-discovery, Ryan runs across budget Canadian Nick Offerman and his fucking amazing early 90s jacket. This was the year 2000, by the way. Ryan decides to stop and be awfully Canadian and offer the guy some help, and he informs him that, hey, I got a flat tire and I don't have a jack, and Ryan says, I got you, buddy. While assisting budget Canadian Nick Offerman with his predicament, his wife gets out of the car, and she really wants Ryan's badass 1986 Dodge Omni. Though it does kind of make sense why she wants to get rid of her car, because it's a Chevy Cavalier. And to be totally fair, some of the late 80s Dodge Omnis were actually low-key road warriors, though I don't think this is one of them. She offers Ryan to trade cars, and on top of that, $1,000 US. And how can he pass that up? Well, it's a Chevy Cavalier, so he probably should have, but you know, I can't blame the guy. He's strapped for cash, and they're offering up $1,000. I would like to point out, though, that it is a bit odd that this couple on the side of the road just rides around with a briefcase partially full of strapped money. That seems a bit weird to me. What the fuck? Are these people in the fucking mafia or something? But Ryan don't give a shit. He's like, whatever, I'm on the run. Let me get this car, my 1K, and I'll be on my merry way. Before leaving, though, they ask Ryan, what do you do? And he informs them that he is a college student. And man, these gangsters must really care about education, because on top of all that, they also offer him another $500 just because of that. So nobody can ever say that they're not giving back to to the community. So I'm guessing now we have gotten back to present day at some point in time. Not really sure when, but Ryan's in the Cavalier now. And as he's riding in the road in his new car with his new cash, he hears something on the radio that's a bit concerning.
And finally in the news, local stores have been finding counterfeit American $100 bills for the past few days. Police had no leads until this morning.
I fucking told ya! Upon learning that all the money that he received in the trade of his badass 1986 Dodge Omni is fake, Ryan decides to do what any other logical person would do and throw that shit out the fucking window. What the fuck? I don't care if it's fake or not. You could probably still spend that shit. Yeah, sure, I guess knowing that it's fake and spending it would be illegal, but it's $1,000 fucking dollars. Who the fuck with $1,000 in cash and that's all the money you have and you're on the run is just gonna throw it out the fucking window? Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna need that money to fix the fucking Cavalier down the road, buddy. You better hold on to that shit. Now back in the present day, apparently Ryan and Krista, after like a day of spending time together, are in love or something. I'm not really sure, but it really seems that way. But hey, before you can give that much thought, much like the rest of the movie, fucking smash cut. Apparently Ryan got on a fucking plane at some point, and apparently got a letter from Krista as well, even though they were just in the same fucking scene together. I don't know what is going on here, but don't worry, pump the brakes on that shit because apparently Ryan has a twin now. I am so fucking confused. Krista is apparently out of the picture. Ryan just ended up on a fucking plane and we don't even know where he's at now. He ran into his twin or something and now he's been kidnapped by some mysterious goons. What is happening? I'm not even sure if I'm watching the same movie at this point. Apparently Ryan has been kidnapped by the mafia now. Why? Fuck, I don't know. Now, at this point, you may be thinking that I'm describing these things in this way to make them confusing. I'm making the movie seem bad. Oh, it's not really cut like that. That's not how it could possibly be. Yes, it is. This movie is just fucking all over the place, and it makes no fucking sense. The way that I described all those events, that's exactly how they happened. In fact, it probably took me longer to describe them than the scenes played out. All the stuff I described happened within the matter of about 3 minutes. While having already watched this movie, I do have the foresight to know what is actually going on. Well, as best as I can know what's going on. You don't ever really find out, but I kind of got an idea what's going on. At this point of watching the movie the first time, I had no fucking clue what was going on. And not like in that I have no clue and it's a mystery kind of way. No, like in that I have no fucking clue and I feel like the DVD skipped to another chapter and just skipped a lot of stuff. But no, it didn't. I checked the fucking time code. It didn't skip at all. This is just how the fucking movie's put together. So moving on with our new mafia plot, this new character that we have here answers the phone the same way I answer the phone anytime anyone calls me.
Who the fuck is this?
Vinny, your cousin Vinny.
And did he say my cousin Vinny? Really? So with this epic answering of the phone, we meet Budget Owen Wilson and his amazing performance.
Why the fuck I want to talk to this Shakespeare? Are we supposed to be scared of him? How the fuck did he get this number?
And apparently these guys don't know how a phone conversation works because they just continue to call each other, say one thing, hang up, and then call back and say another thing and hang up. Guys, you don't have to hang up after every time. This isn't like a radio or something like that you have to hit the button. You can just make the call and have a fluent conversation. That being said, this opera singing looking motherfucker right here says what YouTube says to me pretty much every fucking video I release.
What's your language, asshole?
You know, I gotta wonder what the people that he convinced to be in this movie thought this movie was gonna be. I wonder if any of them thought that this was going to be like their big break into Hollywood or something. I don't know about the rest of them, but Budget Owen Wilson, I don't think I'll ever get enough of you. And we never see him again for the rest of the movie. BOW, we knew you for such a short time, but you will be missed. Now for the next few minutes, we get to see Ryan being held captive at this mansion by these criminals. We're never really told why he's being held there. I guess it's supposed to be like a mistaken identity thing. The guy who was his twin at the airport that we don't know how he fucking got there. Apparently these guys think that he is that guy. I'm not really sure, but Ryan's being held there. He never really questions it. He never really says to him, hey guys, I'm not this guy you're talking about. He doesn't try and explain the situation whatsoever. He just kind of rolls with it. So you gotta give Ryan that much. You know, the guy just kind of rolls with the punches. And I gotta say that if this movie's anything to go by, Canada's criminals are even a whole lot nicer.
Stand back from the door, then manifest yourself with your hands up.
Now, as soon as he sees an opportunity, Ryan ditches these motherfuckers about as quick as he ditches Connie's ass. And apparently he did it just in time, because just as he's leaving the estate, some Costa Rican drug lords show up. I mean, really, who rolls around with guns hanging out the fucking window this hot in the States? But moving on, Ryan does what he does the best, and he gets the fuck out of there. He starts hitchhiking and gets picked up by the Canadian truck driving Adam Sandler. And this scene is quite possibly one of the oddest scenes in the entire movie. And also, the way that responds here is me pretty much in any conversation with people that I don't know.
Okay.
Ryan finds that he has hitched a ride with the world's most touchy truck driver who gets really pissed off if Ryan doesn't eat and drink in his cab.
Hey, I'm pretty pissed off if you don't eat and drink in my cab.
Just take the fucking chips, Ryan, because if you don't, you're probably gonna find yourself in a hole in a basement with this guy dancing around with your face on and his dick tucked between his legs listening to Boy George. So after riding around with Wild Bill for a few minutes, Ryan decides to get out of the truck, and honestly, what in the fuck was the point of that entire scene? It was just some weird guy getting odd phone calls going on and on about eating and drinking in his truck and farting nonstop. Not that anything in this movie has really progressed any story whatsoever forward, but this shit was just really fucking random and really fucking out there. Honestly though, it was so out there that I kind of liked it. On down the road, Ryan gets a job at a diner and he befriends the owner of the diner, and the guy sets him up in this little apartment. And honestly, this is a big fucking apartment. Yeah, there's no furniture there. They act in the movie like it's kind of a shithole, but it's not. It's fucking ginormous. But none of that really matters, because while Ryan is serving coffee to some lovely ladies in the diner one day, they think that he is a man who sexually assaulted one of their friends. And they decide to do what any rational person in this situation would do, dress up like cheerleaders and go assault him at his home in the night. I mean, who needs proof or confirmation? Fuck that shit. Let's just go kill the guy. So Ryan gets attacked by the Powerpuff Girls and they go straight to this.
We should cut his dick off.
I mean, really? That's where you go right off the bat? I mean, yeah, sure, if you got confirmation, okay, do what you do, but you don't even know if this is the guy. You even admit we're not sure if this is the guy. We think it's the guy, but we're not 100% sure, and you go straight for the fucking dick? Ladies, I know that that's the target when you're mad at us, but come on now, back off the fucking dicks. However, when their friend shows up to give confirmation that this is the shithead that did this to her, she says, you know, his hair was really short when he did it, and there's no way he grew this much hair in 2 days. That is, of course, unless he was a subscriber to Hims.com, which this is the point in the video that if I ever did get paid promotions, I would promote Hims.com and say that if you want to, you know, like grow hair and shit, yeah, go subscribe to them and they'll give you something that makes you not bald anymore. See what I'm talking about, people? I'm great at this. Give me a call. So Jenny, which is the rape victim that was coming to confirm whether Ryan is the guy who did it to her or not, after taking a peek under the covers, goes from rape victim to possible fucking rapist real quick. But before she can jump on that shit, they start to wonder, what should we do? We fucked up. What are we gonna do about all this? And they come to the conclusion that is the answer to pretty much any issue that I ever run into in life.
Why don't we take him out of state and dump him in the mountains?
After dumping Ryan in a random truck stop bathroom, we get this woman's reaction, which mirrors my wife's reaction anytime she walks in on me in the bathroom. But it's all good, because Ryan just shakes that shit off. He's getting kind of used to it at this point. He goes to walk across the parking lot, and as he's walking by, he sees this guy.
Are you from Canada?
Yeah, you?
So apparently Canadians can just spot other Canadians just out in the wild. I don't know what it is about them, but I guess this guy looked really Canadian. Either that or Ryan's got, I don't know, fucking Canadadar or something. It's like gaydar, but for Canadians. So since they're both Canadian, of course they're best friends, and the guy not only offers Ryan a ride, but he also offers him a job. But I gotta pause real quick and take notice of something. The guy's driving around in a fucking Toyota Paseo. What the fuck, Canada? You got some shitty ass cars. No offense to anybody who drives a Paseo out there, but I doubt there's many of you, because much like the Cavalier, them motherfuckers aren't running now. So as they arrive in, I don't know, fucking Los Angeles or something now, this guy has this little gem to say.
All right. Well, you need a shave and shower and some clothes. Let's go back to my place.
Yeah, that doesn't sound suspect at all. Now back in Canada, Connie goes to Ryan's mom to try and explain herself. And apparently in Canada, people just walk up in motherfuckers' houses unannounced. And yeah, I know that's a thing even here with people that like know each other and stuff, but this bitch has got this woman's son on the run in another fucking country. She's made false accusations against him, and she just busted up in the house like she owns the motherfucker. We're not gonna spend a lot of time with that. Let's get back to Ryan and the interesting stuff, and apparently this has become a coming of age story now. I mean, why not? I don't really know what the fuck it was before this, but hey, now it's a coming of age story for a bit. Ryan's apparently doing well for himself. He's got his own place. He's working at a hotel. Things are looking up for the guy. So while that's kind of boring for this movie, let's move on to this random ass woman walking down the street as these guys roll up and just snatch her ass up. I think she's a hooker, not really sure, but she does threaten to quit. Do hookers quit jobs like regular jobs? I mean, do they like give 2 weeks notices to their pimps? Either way, this guy is roughing her up in the back of this limousine, and I'm pretty sure he has left comments on my videos before.
You look like a piece of shit!
Apparently, random hooker missed an appointment the night before, and this guy is not playing. He's like, bitch, you fucking with my money. Don't do it again, and he tosses her ass out the fucking limo. It's not actually a limo, it's like a Dodge Intrepid, but whatever, I'm not going back and changing the verbiage now. Now, the way that she is tossed out of this car is quite possibly one of the most epic moments in this entire movie. No words that I could produce with my mouth would ever do it justice, so let's just view it right here for your pleasure.
My purse! My purse! Son of a bitch.
What the fuck? And I like how she like yells for her purse and they just toss it back at her. Thankfully for her though, Ryan was walking by and he is there to help her up to her feet. And as they walk together to go pick up her daughter, apparently, they get to know each other a bit more. She tells him her life story and he tells her not shit. Upon picking up her daughter, Ryan really goes in hard to get to know this kid because apparently he's wanting to get them panties. From the mom, by the way, we're not going there. But if he only knew, he doesn't really have to try that hard. She's got a price apparently. I would like to point out that the young girl in this scene is played by Janelle Matura, and apparently this movie was so fucking bad that at age 6, she retired from acting. She was so scarred by the experience of making this movie at 6 years old that she decided, rightfully so by the way, to retire. Just saying. We get a montage of Ryan and random hooker hanging out, getting to know each other, and apparently forming a relationship. We don't really know how much time passes while this is happening, but we get the idea that they're getting to know each other and maybe falling in love. I don't really know. It's not very well done. Now, back to Canada for a moment. As we have our montage of Ryan being happy, we have a Connie being sad montage. And we get to see her sitting on another one of Canada's really fucking weird out there public area sculptures. And we also get another little callback to Homer's The Odyssey. Come on now, Ray, just give that shit up. This ain't no Odyssey. So after that uplifting montage that rivals that of Rocky IV, Ryan and his girlfriend sit down, and this is where Ryan finds out she's a hooker, or a call girl, but hey, same fucking thing. We also find out that random hooker girlfriend's pimp is actually her husband as well, and he's been whooping that ass on the regular basis. After learning all of this tantalizing information, Ryan does what he does best, and he gets the fuck out of there and goes to work. And seeing how the movie is needing to get Ryan the fuck out of this situation and on to another one, while at work, he suddenly and randomly wins the lottery, like you do. Now, we never see Ryan like purchase this ticket or receive it or anything like that. It's just him arriving at work and then suddenly smash cut to walking through the lobby, and he looks down at the ticket and he's like, I won $40,000. So hey, good on him, I guess. The editing and story structure of this movie is just all over the fucking place. So after receiving his newfound wealth, Ryan just gets the fuck out of there, leaves everything behind, his whole new life, his girlfriend, all of it. Guess that hooker thing was just a little bit too much for him. He stops along the way and gains clarity through the majesty that is the Grand Canyon. It's big. Either that or he's contemplating suicide. Not really sure, but it seems as if he has come to the realization that Connie is the woman for him. What makes him realize this, I don't know, because this bitch has been fucking crazy throughout his entire life, even tried to kill herself just to get attention because of him. So why that is what made him say, you know what, she's the one for me. That's who I want to spend the rest of my life with. I'm gonna go back, get her, and sweep her off her feet. Sure, man. Whatever. And after that, apparently he decided to go check on random hooker girlfriend. And apparently Sam's, which that's random hooker girlfriend's name, by the way, we didn't find that out until now, husband took Sam and their daughter hostage, and there was a big shootout with the police, and they shot him.
So they shot him. And they shot him dead.
They shot him dead. Ryan rushes to the aid of Sam and Mandy, which is the daughter's name, by the way, and offers the little girl a bear.
Brought a present for Mandy.
Bullshit! We saw that fucking bear in the car earlier. You bought that shit for Connie and you were taking it to her. That's kind of a fucked up move, Ryan. You're gonna give this little girl crazy Connie's bear that you bought for her. Sam and Ryan sit down to talk about the situation, and he asks how her daughter's doing.
How is she?
She's traumatized and horrified.
How about you?
I'm okay.
Well, it's good to know that you're okay, Sam. Ryan informs her that, you know, I know you're going through the most difficult and traumatizing time of your life, but I gotta go. Deuces. He leaves Sam an envelope full of money, and then he gets into a new car he's purchased with all his newfound wealth, and oh my god, it's another fucking Cavalier. At least this time, I guess it's a newer model, but it's still a fucking Cavalier. What the fuck, dude? You just won all kinds of fucking money, and that is what you bought.
I love you, Ryan.
Ryan just breaking hearts across the country. Stone cold pimping. So Ryan takes off for new adventures, but hey, watch out, because here comes a sudden scene change. Now that the cat's out of the bag, Connie's dad and Ryan's mom come together to have a talk about it all, and I'm really glad that they know what the fuck's going on, because I have no goddamn clue. Jump forward, or sideways, or somewhere, I don't know, but Ryan is now in a bar in some other city. The bartender at this extremely empty bar offers Ryan a job with a bunch of screaming women. We don't really get any clarification, nor does Ryan, about what this job is, but hey, you get to go and spend the evening with a bunch of screaming women. Who wouldn't want to do that? But before we get that, let's go over to some other random ass characters we've never met, where we have Tori Spelling Light, who tells this bitch from Dynasty to get the fuck out of here. And judging by their hair, all the women in this scene buy their Aquanet by the case at fucking Sam's Wholesale. But enough of all that, now Ryan is involved with male strippers, and Miguel from Cobra Kai really went downhill. And then we have this, and I'm sure you think that I'm going to talk about this unlikely stripper, but no, let's just take in this song for a minute.
He's on the scene, oh, he's looking for action, and she's his queen, she's got her arms wrapped around him.
super hot. And this move, gentlemen, we could learn a lot from this guy. So Ryan becomes a stripper with no previous experience, because why not? And the tube socks are what really set this costume off. Everybody knows that chicks dig naked guys in tube socks. Come on, Ryan, you never do naked with socks. Fellas, you truly want to look like a fucking idiot? Do naked with socks. So after the show, Ryan hooks up with the cougar from Dynasty, somehow. We don't ever really see how, just suddenly he's in bed with her. But I guess he was cool with it because they have a post-nut clarity therapy session afterwards. After that riveting night, Ryan wakes up to find out that apparently he killed that pussy. Damn, Ryan, you a beast. So he runs, which is odd because I'm pretty sure you can't get in trouble for fucking somebody to death, but you know, that's what Ryan does best. The running part, not the fucking to death part. I mean, I guess he does that well too because, you know, example A. So apparently Ryan is now headed back home. I don't know when he let everybody know, but apparently they do know that he's on his way back. Ryan calls home to let him know that he's about an hour away, and what do you know? Connie's there and she answers the phone.
I'm coming home for you, babe.
He said the thing! Apparently now we know who Ryan's babe is. I think. You know, maybe it's just me, and I am in no way qualified to give relationship advice, but I feel like that everything that Connie and Ryan have been through in their lives, this is probably not the best foundation for a healthy relationship. Now I know we only got a couple of minutes left in the movie, but apparently Ryan still has some more adventure in him, and as he's going down the road, almost home, almost out of the woods, he sees a beautiful hitchhiker, and this would be Julia, a young aspiring actress that is headed to Vancouver, and he decides, what the fuck, why not? Let's pick her up. There's something up with Julia, but the most suspect thing that she does is that she multiple times in this like 2-minute conversation they have in the car, lights a cigarette, takes one hit off of it, and throws it out the fucking window. Do you have any idea of how much cigarettes cost, lady? I myself am no longer a smoker, but when I did, holy shit, those motherfuckers are expensive as hell. There's no way in fucking hell I'm gonna throw a whole cigarette out the window. Don't throw it out, stub it out. We find that Julia really has issues with law enforcement because as a cop is passing by, she just randomly decides to flip him off. This prompts the officer to do an action movie turnaround, pull over Ryan, and take him into custody. Apparently Julia comes up as a missing girl who was kidnapped along with a bunch of jewels and other things of value. And of course, Ryan is now thought to be the guy who kidnapped her. I guess. I'm not really fucking sure. You're almost there, Ryan. Almost. But you had to think with a little head, and look where the fuck it got you. And we are sent out with the random person that Ryan just met, informing him of this.
Love you, Ryan.
And at this point, after everything he's been through, I'm sure what's going through Ryan's head is, bitch, I'll fucking kill you. Roll credits. End of the movie. What the fuck did I just watch? Look, I've been really confused at quite a few of the parts in this movie, but the end of this movie, really, what just happened? I'm not even making fun or having a good time with it. I'm telling you, the end of this movie makes zero fucking sense. I have no clue what just happened here. But at least it's all over now. So this movie's pretty fucking terrible. How and why it got made is an absolute mystery to me. It's barely a movie. It's more of a collection of nonsensical scenes, none of which are good. The director, Ray Romaya, passed away at the age of 80 just recently in 2021. And it's no surprise that he had no other film directing credits after Ryan's Babe. None of the other people involved in the movie ever really went on to do anything else either because, you know, they all kind of suck. When it comes to so bad they're good movies, I'm a little bit on the fence. I mean, I can deal with some of them. Something like The Room or Birdemic, okay, I can find the humor in those. Or even something like Sharknado. But this movie was just so bad, it's fucking bad. There are a few so bad they're good moments, but overall, this is definitely one of the worst movies that wasn't trying to be bad that I have ever seen in my life. Is it worse than The Room? I don't know, maybe. It's definitely close, but what it is absolutely 100% undeniably a fucking dumpster fire. So that's my balls deep dive review into Ryan's Babe. Yeah, it's bad. Just don't watch this movie. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon in the description below and become a jarhead and get some of the awesome benefits to go along with that, like these guys, and possibly join my top tier and become a bad motherfucker like my man Greg C and Dragon Con, where you too, much like Greg did with this movie, request of me one movie every month to review. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Vancouver.
My purse! My purse! Son of a bitch.
So apparently my patrons hate me because this was a fucking terrible movie. Greg, I don't know what I did to you, man, but I'm sorry. Truly, I'm sorry.